Okay, let's dive right in. Have you ever just looked at someone and wondered what makes them so magnetic? You know those people who can walk into any room and just instantly connect with anyone? Is it some kind of superpower they're born with, or is there something else going on? Well, there's this fantastic story about Marilyn Monroe that kind of peels back the curtain on this whole thing. She wanted to prove a point. So one day on a busy New York subway, she was just another face in the crowd, totally unnoticed, invisible. And then she decided to flip a switch to turn on her charisma. The moment she stepped onto the platform, she was absolutely mobbed. The big secret here? Charisma isn't just something you have or you don't. It's something you can actually control. So, how do we learn to flip that same switch? How do you go from feeling invisible to becoming unforgettable? Well, today, we're going to distill the wisdom from more than a dozen best-selling books on social dynamics into one simple but really powerful framework to help you do just that. And where does this journey start? Well, maybe it's no surprise, but it all begins inside your own head. Before you say a single word, the most critical conversation you'll have is the one you're having with yourself. This is the internal game. According to Olivia Fox-Cabane, who wrote The Charisma Myth, the biggest thing holding us back is all that noise in our heads. The self-doubt, the social anxiety, that fear of being judged. And to get past that, we need to cultivate a charismatic mindset that's built on three key things. Presence, just being fully there in the moment. Warmth, which is all about showing goodwill, and power, which is just that feeling that you can affect the world around you. Now, here's where it gets really practical. Cabane gives us this three-step mental trick you can do in just a few seconds to get your cool back. First, destigmatize it. That uncomfortable feeling, it's a totally normal survival instinct. You're not broken, you're just human. Second, neutralize the negative thoughts. Your brain can't really tell the difference between what's real and what you imagine, so picture a time you succeeded, feel it. And third, rewrite reality. Just imagine offloading the responsibility for the outcome onto fate or the universe, whatever works for you. This frees up your mind to just be present. And this ties right into another huge piece of that charismatic mindset, getting comfortable with uncertainty. Annie Duke, who is a champion poker player, explains that real confidence isn't about knowing everything. It's actually about being okay with not knowing. It's that comfort with saying, I'm not sure, that lets you be open and genuine with people. All right, so once you've got your head in the right space, we can shift our focus to the outside world, the mechanics. We're talking about the nonverbal signals that, believe it or not, speak way, way louder than words. And when I say they speak loud, I also mean they speak fast. Research from Vanessa Van Adwer's book, Captivate, shows that it takes all of 2 seconds for someone to make up their mind about you. 2 seconds. In that tiny window, they decide if they like you, if they trust you, and if they believe you. And they almost never change that initial impression. But here's the cool part. You can totally engineer that first impression. Just focus on 4 key nonverbal cues. First, keep your hands where people can see them. It's an ancient primal signal that says friend, not foe. Second, take up a little space. An expansive posture projects confidence. Third, slow your movements down. Confident people move with purpose, not nervous energy. And finally, make eye contact. It is the single fastest way to build trust. But look, connection isn't a one-way broadcast, right? It's a two-way street. And in fact, probably the most powerfully charismatic thing you can possibly do is become a really active listener. And you can show that you're truly locked in with these super simple moves. Instead of just jumping in with an answer, just pause for a beat. It shows you're actually thinking about what they said. Use little encouragers like nodding or a smiley slight. You can even subtly mirror their body language. And this one is huge. Don't interrupt. Let them get their entire thought out. Okay, mindset, check. Body language, on point. So now what? What do you actually say? This brings us to part 3, mastering your message, the content game. You know, the secret to a message that really, truly lands isn't just about reciting facts. It's about telling a story. And according to storyteller Matthew Dix, every great story ever told boils down to what he calls a 5-second moment. It's that tiny slice of time where a character has a realization that changes them forever. Think about Jurassic Park. You think it's a movie about dinosaurs, right? Nope, it's actually a movie about a man who can't stand kids learning to love them. The dinosaurs are just the setting. That transformation is the story's soul. That's the 5-second moment that makes us care. So how do we make our own messages that sticky? Well, thankfully, the book Made to Stick gives us this fantastic checklist.
It's called the success framework. For a message to stick, it needs to be simple, unexpected, concrete, credible, emotional, and told as a story. Let's look at this classic example of making an idea concrete and unexpected. To convince people that movie popcorn was unhealthy, advocates didn't just throw a bunch of nutrition stats at them. No, they showed them this. They showed that a single medium popcorn had 37 grams of saturated fat. That's almost double the recommended daily limit of 20 grams. Now, that is an idea that sticks with you.
And a huge part of your message is what you ask. And it's so easy to slip into what I'd call interview mode, asking those factual, dead-end questions like, so, what do you do? Instead, you want to aim for connection mode. Ask questions that get to emotions and stories like, what are you really passionate about? Or, wow, what was that like for you? And when it comes to making people believe what you're saying, you can use what the made-to-stick authors call the Sinatra test. From the song, If I Can Make It There, I'll Make It Anywhere. So this shipping company in India, instead of just listing their credentials, they gave one powerful example. They proved their reliability by delivering every single Harry Potter book to every store in India on release day, on time, with 0 leaks. That one single incredible feat, that's way more powerful than any brochure. Okay, so we've covered the 3 M's: mindset, mechanics, and message. Let's pull it all together now and talk about what the real art of connection is all about. Because at the end of the day, the secret to genuinely connecting with another person, it's not about memorizing the perfect opening line or having some flawless script. And it's not just some clever trick or a power pose that you can fake your way through. Those things can help, for sure, but they aren't the heart of it. It all boils down to one profound, really simple shift in your focus. Author Daniel Pink talks about the world of improv comedy, where the #1 rule is this: make your partner look good. True connection happens when you stop worrying about how you look and you put all your focus into making the other person feel seen, heard, and valued. That's it. That's the secret sauce. So when you master your mindset, your mechanics, and your message with that goal in mind, you're not just communicating anymore. You're opening the door for real, genuine human connection. Your story is just beginning. The only question is, who will you invite in?